It's the moment Swifties have been waiting for. In just a matter of hours, Canadian fans will get their chance to nab tickets to hear this.
So take a look what you've done, 'cause baby now we got bad blood.
That's Taylor Swift's Bad Blood off the album 1989. That's sure to be one song fans hope to hear next November when she plays 6 shows at Toronto's Rogers Centre. There are roughly 300,000 tickets up for grabs for the lucky ones. Now that sounds like a lot, but millions of others fear they're already out of luck before tickets even go on sale this morning. Anis Haidari is covering this for us this morning from Calgary. Anis, people will be watching to see how Ticketmaster handles today's sales. How much is riding on this for them?
Well, yeah, you said it, Deanna. Ticketmaster has not even started to sell the actual tickets yet, but there's already probably millions, but certainly hundreds of thousands of fans who are waiting by their computers trying to find out if they're going to get tickets. The Ticketmaster way of doing it this time is to send fans codes. So before you even get to buy a ticket, you had to line up, virtually basically, to try and get a code for the chance to buy a ticket. And we've been hearing from a lot of Taylor Swift fans who say, Ticketmaster's the problem, not them, because they didn't get those codes. Whether or not we see actual fans versus, say, resellers, bots, those scalper computer programs, robots, so to speak, scalpers themselves get these tickets. We'll find that out a little bit later today as the tickets actually go on sale. But for Ticketmaster, this is a company that's taken a lot of pressure over the last long time, but certainly over the last year with various concerts, including the Taylor Swift concerts throughout the rest of the world. A lot of the time they've been criticized because resellers, scalpers get those tickets right away. And so actual fans who want to go to the show because they love the music can't make it. With Taylor Swift before, Ticketmaster crashed. They weren't able to sell any tickets at all at first. They did get past that eventually, technically, but it's a little early today for us to know whether that will happen this time. We're going to potentially hear a lot of fans screaming about Bad Blood if Ticketmaster doesn't come through technically, but it's a little early for that, Deanna.
I mean, it is incredible when you think about 300,000 tickets, and it's true, just like a survey of social media and people we spoke to earlier this morning, everyone seemed to have been waitlisted, but I'm sure that there are lucky ones who got that code. Now, these tickets will come at a price too, Anis. It's not just a show. For some, they will have to book a hotel, travel to Toronto, eat dinners while they're here, spend money on transportation, maybe buy all those bracelets. Tell me about the economy of Taylor Swift. How much can people expect to be spending here?
A lot of money, frankly. I mean, we don't know how much these tickets are going to end up going for in the end because they haven't quite gone on sale yet. We're, waiting within the next few hours. But assuming that the reseller economy comes into play, people will be paying big bucks for the tickets alone. Taylor Swift is only doing Canadian shows in Toronto. Now, she's doing 6 of them, which sounds like a lot, but all her fans from across the country who maybe didn't want to or couldn't cross international borders, they're going to have to go to Toronto. Those are flights. That's hotels. Toronto already is a very popular destination, but over the course of 6 days, all of a sudden, every hotel is probably going to have a lot of Taylor Swift fans. They're going to spend money on restaurants. They are going to spend money on getting around. We are probably talking about, if not a few $100s, well over $1,000 for anyone who is going to this concert from out of Toronto. And if they are in Toronto, even just getting around the city, eating food, going to the show, all of this is going to be expensive. I mean, when you take the general cost of going to a baseball game at the Sky Dome, at the Rogers Centre, and then multiply that by a lot more people and a lot more shows, there is going to be a lot of money pumped into Toronto's economy for this. But, the key point is always how much did the tickets go for? And because they're not quite on sale yet, that's the magic number, right? If you spent $600 for your ticket, you're probably not going to spend quite as much on everything else. But if you can get that first run ticket that hasn't been hit by a reseller from Ticketmaster, maybe you'll have a little more money to spend on those friendship bracelets or some other merch. Deanna.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for crunching those numbers for us. That's Anis Haidari in Calgary. Tale of two Swifties now to share with you. Samara O'Gorman from Montreal and Tuba Shishti of Toronto's wildest dreams of both of you didn't quite come true yesterday. You have both been waitlisted for the Taylor Swift tickets, along with so many others. I must tell you, certainly a lot of people I know, I was on social media last night, everyone had screen grabs of that same message. You've been waitlisted, often accompanied by a crying emoji. Let me start with talking to both of you, just asking you, how are you feeling? Tuba, let's start with you. What are your feelings right now?
Not great just yet, because I had 7 people in my life signed up who I was going to go with, or like who were waitlisting on my behalf, including my 3 brothers, who all were like, no, they're there for you. And yeah, I know about 30 people who all got waitlisted.
Samara, what about you?
Still hopeful. I think Taylor wants everyone to see her show, even if that's not fathomable right now. I think it will be one day, so remaining hopeful.
And Samara, I understand that you did know someone, although it's not a close friend. You did see that one fabled person who did actually get the code and I guess bragged about it online.
Yes, exactly. Fable is a great adjective to use because it's kind of a magical experience that's happening right now. Like, some people are getting it and some people aren't. It's like fairy dust, and this is an experience nobody wants to miss. It's a once in a lifetime concert. So hoping the fairy dust will sprinkle on me.
Tell me, guys, I want to talk to both of you about why going to this concert means so much to you. Tuba, let's start with you. Why is it so important that you be there in November 2024?
I'm a huge Taylor Swift fan, usually like 1 or 2% of her top listeners on Spotify every year. I saw her in our 1989 tour, Reputation, when she was here last. I had tickets to go to Massachusetts for 2020 for Loverfest because she hadn't announced Canadian dates yet. So, I mean, obviously just a huge fan, and it means a lot, but also really feels like she's the artist or one of the big artists of our lifetimes, and that this concert tour has been everything. Like, every Instagram, every TikTok, every video I've seen, and it just looks amazing. The fact that she's doing this for 4 hours almost a night, doing the 2 Secret Surprise songs, like, it's become this incredible spectacle, obviously, of like community and this artist you love, but also of this like performance that no one else is doing anything like this. So really just wanted to be a part of it if I still can.
I love that you brought up the community part of it. Samara, I want to go to you. Tell me about Taylor Swift, the artist. We know that she writes songs about her personal life. She seems very open with her fans. What is it about her songwriting and her artistry that made you connect with her so much?
It's really ironic that you asked that because I'm an artist myself. I'm a poet, and I feel throughout my own poetry, she's kind of given me a cathartic release of sorts, especially through her album Folklore. It's so special. And I think Taylor Swift right now is who Freddie Mercury and Queen was to my dad, and how badly he wanted to get tickets for that show. So she's an inspiration for sure. She's really special.
Thank you both so much for articulating so well why going to this concert is so important to you. Okay, now we're getting to plan B. Since neither of you got that code last night, what are we going to do next? I'm going to start with you, Tuba.
I have I signed up for the Avion Rewards. I also have my phone notifications on, so in case, because I've heard online that there were people who were getting off the wait list as other people were not buying tickets. So that's still plan A. Plan B is the Avion Rewards. Plan C, I mean, I don't know. We'll have to see about scalpers or whatnot, I guess. And Plan D is like, I'm really hoping, I know it's November and it can be a little cold, but not that cold by Canadian standards. So I'm hoping the Dome is open. And at least we can do the parking lot experience, because that was so cool in a lot of other cities.
Can you explain to us what the parking lot experience is? I'm picturing kind of like a tailgate party of Swifties. Is that...
Yeah, that is kind of the vibe. So a lot of people, because a lot of these football stadiums in the U.S. Don't have domes, and so they've kind of kept the doors open as well, so people outside can still experience at least some of the spectacle or the audio and sing along. So it's been a really cool video. So I'm sure you've seen them as well.
Yeah, it's like an auditory experience of sorts.
Yeah.
Samara, tell me about your plan B.
Well, I do have a friend who managed to snag tickets to the Paris show. But at the moment, I can't afford to go to Paris. I can afford to go to Toronto. It's my neighboring city. I live in Montreal, but yeah, that's my plan B at the moment. But For now, I'm just remaining hopeful, hopefully manifesting these tickets to Toronto.
I heard that Paris is very nice any time of the year, but yes, of course, so expensive. I'm glad that you brought up the expense of it. Definitely in discussing this, there are people who are saying, look, I really appreciate her as an artist. She's a great songwriter. She has stood up against some of the unfair practices in the industry. But with all that aside, this is an astronomical amount of money, especially for people who do not live in Toronto. The tickets, especially on resale, are going to be so expensive. What do you say to those people? I'm going to start with you.
I think it's... Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, sorry, go ahead.
Okay, let's start with Samara. I love that Swifties are so polite to each other. There's lots of love here. Samara, let's start with you.
I would just say that I think we're not paying for a concert at this point. I think it's very much an experience, a once-in-a-lifetime experience. I sound like a broken record at this point, but I think that's why prices are so high. And she gives back so much. Taylor Swift, she gives back so much to her crew and all the workers that are working on the show itself. It's a giant showcase. So I understand the pricing of it. And again, remaining hopeful.
Tuba, what about your answer? What would you say to the skeptics, I guess?
I totally agree with Samara. Like we just got reports over the weekend that she's giving bonuses for her truck drivers and for her crew and things like that. So very happy to support someone who's doing very fair and like generous hiring practices, of course. But I also think it is an experience, and people have to do what's right for them. So for people for whom they're like, look, the $400 is a lot more money than I'm willing to spend for a concert. Those are choices you get to make. Beyonce was just in Toronto last month, and thankfully one of my friends was able to get on the verified fan list, and it was an incredible experience. It was not cheap either, but it was Beyonce, and it was, one of those things where the people who weren't able to go, that's okay if the price limit is your concern. And for me, as someone who is a huge Beyonce fan as well, not quite as big a Swiftie as I am as a Swiftie, but I do think it's the experience, like Samara said, and the whole like atmosphere, the friendship bracelets that people are making together, which literally just comes from a line in one of her songs.
Yeah.
Right? Like make the friendship bracelets.
Yeah.
Which is incredible. Like what a community. And then we've seen it seems like every celebrity in the world has gone to her tours, like football players and obviously actors and other singers. We saw Vanessa Bryant was there this week. Selena Gomez was there yesterday. And everyone's like, this is the coolest thing we've seen, right? Like.
We have to wrap up right now, but I wanted to thank both of you so much, Samara O'Gorman in Montreal and Tuba Shishti in Toronto, for sharing your thoughts with us. You've definitely thought this through, and I think you both really summed up well why Taylor means so much to you. And I'll be trying to catch up with you guys on social media and see how you do in trying to score those tickets, okay?